Afternoon. Nice to see you all. Hope you're all feeling safe, staying home. Pandemic has created an havoc. I just first thing first, mask. This is very important tool that one needs to have to save your to take care of the risk that you have outside. So I'll say like I'll request each and everyone to take care and make sure like you're wearing the mask and stay home as much as possible. Avoid unnecessary travels. Uh, Interestingly, has been a long time since I went live, but yeah, this test automation suite that we're talking about, very interesting when it works as a mask for your ERP system, the production system, and the way we have projected, the way we are offering our services. This is something that I'll say is a very interesting one because InfoRelent, if I talk about the ERP side of it, it's not a tool. It's more of like a it's more of like uh, ERP business processes. They run all across, all throughout the days. You need to take care of the regression part of it. You need to take care of uh, the each and every small piece of it. You have to safeguard so that like it doesn't disrupt your processes because a lot of dependence is there on this particular part, right? So I'll just quickly jump over what exactly we mean by uh, the test automation suite. I'll take you through a small story, kind of storytelling, where we'll say like we'll look into the processes, how exactly it fits into your processes, uh, what are the challenges, what is the framework, how easy is it? Because I'll share a couple of tools that we have accommodated into our framework. That's one side of it, and the important part here is like it's quick and very easy. Actually, the implementation part, it's all about just open up and say like yeah, I need to safeguard my system, let's do it. And the other important aspect that you need to cover is testing. You have to own it as an organization. There has to be a formidable way where you can test the core processes end to end part of it. So this is a live stream. Thank you all for joining. And myself, Karthik, I have almost like 15 plus years of experience working on different ERPs, mainly on the Infor side of it. I'll say like I started off my career with Infor, so I have lived through the barn 4 till the 10.7 cloud suite. And anytime you have any messages, do drop in. I'll have a short Q&A session at the end of it where I can answer each and every query of yours. Talking about my organization, we at Silotec are technology. We believe in technology-driven transformation. Level 3 certified, ISO certified. Uh, we have offices. We are headquartered here in US. We have office there in India, from where we serve the research and R&D actually happens over there. A big pool of resources across. When I talk about transformation, it cannot just be one technology. We keep looking into multiple variants of multiple solutions, multiple ways and means to transform, to optimize, and to engineer. So this is the portfolio that I carry under the Silotec umbrella, where we talk about different aspects, where it can be the ERP, it can be the EAM, it can be the factory track, test automation, which we'll be discussing today. The integrations, something on the tools, the ION, financials, expense management. If you look at the downside, like there is something which is very interesting one, which talks about uh, the data intelligence and the integration specialist. This is something that is selling as on date, along with test automation. A combination that works perfectly for any customer, because you're going to cloud, nothing changes. It remains the same. No customizations are allowed, because unless you do multi-tenant, you will not realize the benefits. So what happens is all your applications have to be integrated. And then there is the intelligence that you need to create, because without intelligence, because with the data that is coming in, which is sitting on different servers, we need to have that intelligence being created. and this created intelligence has to go back into your processes and it should nurture it. So intelligence and the integration specialist is inevitable. We do a lot of projects. We don't do uh, same project multiple times. Say that's the reason you will see like we do a lot of small and big projects. A lot of implementation expertise we have evolved through it. Where exactly? Because when we talk, there is a lot of automations and accelerators that we have built during the course of time, which saves a lot of time, which reduces redundancy and creates a lot of positive vibe. And you can foresee actually a good success after with the project, because you know the way it's moving and you can actually anticipate the timelines and the risks. Coming back to this particular test automation, very interesting one, we call it test assure. This slide like talks about everything. So if you look at the processes, the normal processes that are key processes, which are actually for which you have procured your ERP: procure to pay, plan to deliver, record to report, and order to cash. These are the key processes. There could be other processes which could be there, and this is like, say, order to cash. Maybe it starts from your CPQ. Maybe it starts from some e-commerce. Cash side of it, maybe it gets into different ways and means you pay the cash or you receive the cash. So overall, if I say these are the four standard processes, and these are the key ones which we have automated, and this is where the value proposition that we build and that we want to give back to you in the form of a test assure, which is a very strong framework. If you look down here, you will see like LN 10.4 onwards, because this is where Infer came up with the newer version where it was supporting all and every browser. Before that, it was a web UI. Little tough to get along with the Selenium framework that we're talking here. Uh, but yes, so we have done that part also. We have done FP7s and FP9s, the automation part of it. If I say your process is standard, I'll say like we can go live tomorrow, because I have all those pre-built scripts: finance, procurement, manufacturing, sales. And the interesting part, which actually brings a lot of value back to you, is you will see the way we build the scripts. I will show you a sample use case also, where the value proposition comes when you actually uh, when you actually capture the information, which not just you see but what is happening in the back end also. Because in ERP there are a lot of processes which are running back end. At a click of a button, it's not that field that gets enabled or a process that gets triggered. A lot of tables gets updated, a lot of sessions get populated, a lot of reports get generated. So that's the value that we're bringing in, and that's how core in this test assure is coupled with the Infor ERP. That's how we have built all the experience that we carried all this while last 10 years, last 15 years, we have brought and put into this particular framework. So, and the important and the interesting part is when we say a Selenium integration with Test NG framework, it doesn't just stop with the LN part. As I said, it could be your intrinsic, it could be some internal portals that are there. Yes, we can automate that as well. There could be some other applications are there. Maybe on the CRM side, there is something which where the last mile goes in, where your processes are there. Could be that one, as well as so when we say don't stop yourself just I'm testing a product, because as a ERP, it's more of like a product. We are not looking at technical testing of the product, we are looking at business process testing, right? So the we have, as I said, like we invested, build so many pre-built scripts are there at our disposal. Very strong, as I said. The important, the highlighted one, the keyword and data driven. This is very interesting because this saves a lot of time. The kind of framework that we have built, where reusability comes into play, and then the maintenance parts becomes very easy, because obviously the scripts are changing, patches, you are applying patches, new developments are happening, new enhancements are happening. Why should I invest time on doing the same thing again? What's the point of automation of if you're not able to reduce the redundancy? That's keeping that in view. I'll say like keyword and data driven is something key aspect of it, which we are very which I am very excited. Uh, it's very SOX compliant because we do those audits, because all the processes, when it's happening from beginning till end, we store those evidences in a way, like it could be a video evidence, it could be a screenshots, it could be reports. And these reports, you don't need to log in to check, they just fly through emails, links come in. uh, very interesting. Integration with TestRail, ETAP, and Jira, like this is something on the bug tracking side. Say something failed for some reasons, and what is that reason? That has to be a bug. So we capturing that part also, and we give you integrations for all the standard APIs we consume, and those integrations are there. And reporting, very interesting, lot of widgets are there. Means there's nothing that you ask me and I build for you. There are a lot of interesting widgets over there, which gives you across, like on a daily basis, on a bi-weekly basis, which runs on a quarterly or monthly. And it summarizes, as well as it explodes into the details of the every key aspect of it. And then it even tells you, the intelligence tells you where exactly, like there is a possibility of a bug where you should go and invest. So this is something interesting which we have built. This is what I was talking about, the procure to pay. I'll just, like, I'm not doing a live demo, but I can do it anytime on demand. We have it. So if I say, like, just the use case part of it, the the regression side, like say it starts with purchase order creation, the approvals happen. You do the receipt, once it goes to the vendor approves, and the dates are approved, and then goods are shipped. Then you do the receipt, right? And then once the receipts are done, then the next process is he sends out the invoice, and you log the invoice, and the payments are processed. Very simple, very straightforward. But let's not include what is in context to this demo. I'll stick to the processes that are getting executed within the ERP. Okay, so if I talk about that thing, if you just look into this thing, it's like purchase order form. There's a generate PO, there's a approve PO, print PO, and then post that, like the vendor processes that happens outside the ERP. Then you release the PO to warehouse. The receipt happens. You create a purchase invoice and you do the payment. Now this process, if ideally if somebody sits, the test engineer sits, he might not be having he might not be having all the accesses, super users. So he has to have, either he has to wear multiple hats, like a procurement role, warehouse role, finance role. Now either one person does it, or maybe like three people have to do it, because across there, because of your compliance and all, maybe. So you are actually investing three people time in testing a procure to pay process end to end. And if everything is proper, the world was proper, it was ideal world, maybe it will not take 5 to 10 minutes, to be very frank, because you know all the process. But it's not the idealistic world. So it takes couple of days, because you have to put the data, they have to inform, they have to uh, pass on that information to them. You just don't process just one data, and it goes into multiple things. So here in this case, the demo that I'm talking, this there are multiple test cases into it. Just a second. So there are multiple test cases, both positive and negative. Positive and negative means, like, what we do is we check every aspect of it. Means uh, there could be a, see, the thing is, a bug doesn't come knocking your door saying like I'm coming. It just happens. So you have to make sure, like, every aspect of your process, small and big, is accurate. So it could be a format related issue, versus it could be something uh, yeah, it could be anything. So so what we do is we are doing all positive and negative test cases. So as a part of standard offering, we have included 72 positive and negative test cases. There are overall 207 test steps, which makes the whole execution, I'll say, in my environment, because the standard environment where I have executed, if your environment has some lag, or it has some kind of performance issue, it might go a little longer. But for me, the thing is, after I capture all these assertions, the validations, uh, It runs for close to 5 minutes. And the thing is, like, the test data, it's all, as I said, very interestingly data and keyword driven for from the JSON files that we are talking. Now I'll tell about, like, this is a straightforward flow everybody can see very easy. Now what happens is, when a warehouse receipt is done, this is where my argument is. When a receipt is done, there is a liability that gets created in finance. Nobody tests that. I'm testing it through this flow. Now, yes, in an ideal world, it should work fine, but I'm saying we should test every aspect of it when we are aware, and when you are getting a real full blown solution from a infer expert, then I'll say, like, you should get all those things. So this is where we bring our expertise. We check on that part, and an extensive report is getting generated. At the end of it, it gives both side both the info at a high level. It gives, like, it's approved, means like the test is pass or fail. If it's pass, against that there is a report get generated with all the data captured in an Excel sheet. And that Excel sheet, yes, you can get it through email. So you just need to schedule this flow overnight. Go back home, all your processes. Maybe you want to do multiple processes, just execute them overnight. Go back home. Next day morning, you have the complete picture, complete information. If it fails, it will give you link to the screenshot where exactly it failed, because maybe it was not anticipating some message, something came in. Maybe some information that I was trying to capture, which is essential and which is mandatory, was not getting captured. So the process should not go. It failed over there. It will tell you where exactly it failed. Either you fix it, you identify it. The moment you fix and you identify it, you will appreciate the system. That's where the success of it means. You should be able to identify the bug, right? Anytime you have any questions, please do message me, like in the chat window. I'll answer them. Please. The framework, very interesting, very simple, very sober, very understandable. We don't need a lot of infrastructure. Yes, it can be cloud, it can be on premise, the infrastructure. We are even making it SaaS based approach, because if as I said, like, if ideal world things are not changing, then let's make it SaaS. Yes. And then whenever you have your own critical processes, we can modify those test cases for exclusively for you. So as I said, it's all JSON file driven, which is a lot of coding has been done in that, where it's all data driven and keyword driven, because the workflows, the way they transpire, it has to be like that. We don't want to give you static flows and say this runs, that's it. But if anything changes comes, you have to come visit me. No. So it's all a lot of intelligence that we have built. Reports are there, and as I said, like, those assertions, very critical assertions, the DB assertions, where maybe sometimes some select query, I'll just execute, hit your query, hit your database, and pull that information, just to make sure, like, the data set that I create is 100% foolproof. Then the API assertions are there. Maybe some I need to process some DLLs, like, maybe, like, yeah, some complicated processes are there which are running backside of it. So that framework supports that as well. And the data preparation part, I'll get into that part, very interesting one. And a lot of accelerators are there. And as I said, if you just look at reusability, a lot of reusability is there. Minimal changes that we talk, because we want faster time. We don't want, because testing, I don't want, we don't invest a lot of time on testing. So I'd say intelligent, it has to be intelligent, it has to be foolproof, and it has to run smoothly, right? So what we say is, like, we try to minimize the changes to the code base as much as possible to the greater extent, so that you get 100% working model, where you don't have to bother about that a big change came or a small change. A small changes, it accommodates it, the intelligence takes care of it. Plug and play integrations with third party tools, it runs simultaneously. You can do multiple parallel runs for multiple users if you want to do that. I'll say, like, it doesn't go into the performance side of it, but yes, this side of it, right? And tagging, grouping, dependent functionalities. Reusability is something interesting. Say I can give you an example. Say if there is a unit of measure related testing, or maybe something like so what we have done is we have created those functions. The same function is being called everywhere, so I don't need to fix that function. If suppose something new happens, I don't need to bother about that, need to fix at multiple places. Just one single function I need to fix. So that's how we have got into those functions and libraries, and talk about the reusability. Screenshots and video recordings and log file for verification and validation. This goes into that SOX compliance, where you'll get the proof that the whole flow happened. Right. So I'll say like this is where the interesting part comes in. So anytime, I'll just go back and see if you have any questions. Yeah. So yes, there is a little bit of consulting part that we need to do, where initially we just need to understand what is your process, what kind of complexity is there in the process. Is it as simple as procurement, like raising a purchase order and approving it, versus you want to really test and simulate something within your MRP processes? So if it's MRP, then what happens is this doesn't work, right? And I'll show you. I wanted to show you something. One second. I'll just show you. I wanted to show you something. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So what we have included in our processes, this is very interesting. So it's not that like every time you need to do a scripting. The way we collect your information, your processes, we have went multiple folds ahead, where we have included into our framework the record and play mode also, where you just need to record your flows, give it to us, it automatically generates the script. And it just like, if that is the script you need, yes, that's there with you. But as I said, if you need more than that, a more value than that, we need to make few changes. So as I said, this record and play is very interesting one. If you look at the benefits of it, yes, it's easy, it's intuitive, it works good when it comes to product based flow testing, not on the business processes. Very easy to modify small tweaks here and there. Say like because of some patch, a field actually which was supposed to be there at the top right corner has moved a bit. You don't need to bother about that. Like it just like you just need to record it again and give it to us and it works. So I don't need to say like it failed. Like a small alterations can always be taken care of. It's ideal for navigation testing. I'll say like yes, if you're going and checking this part, as I said, like field movements or field number of tabs and all. Product testing with fixed features, best useful to create the base test. As I said, yes, the base test, the first level of the testing, if you want to create through this thing, I'll say yes, we should do it. These are the benefits, but little complicated flows, a little challenging to handle through record and replay. The cost of maintenance is little high when it comes to maintenance side of it, because there is a lot of recordings that you need to go through. A lot of code coverage as a part of regression, it misses when it's a complex business processes, where possibly I'll say it's ideal to go the custom development code. Reusability totally lost, because every time you record, it just creates a new script, right? Business process, no, it doesn't do the business process. It does have technical product testing, that's very good. Limitations, yes, APIs, it doesn't do, it doesn't care about the databases. But having said that, with the inclusion of record and play into our framework, this has actually created a very strong offering for us to you, where for me, as I said, like it just matter of like couple of days actually. I just put the tool over there and you just record and give, and you have things ready with your end immediately. So this is where like we are offering, and we are doing a lot of research. We are trying to create a lot of intelligence. Yes, nothing is foolproof, but there are a lot of flaws everywhere. A lot of bugs will be there, but yes, we are improvising every time. So as I said, like 10.4 onwards, it works seamlessly. If at all, I'll say like if it's before 10.4 where web UI was there, there was a little challenge in deploying Selenium. This is something what we found is, and where we had to go the UFT way, where the framework remained the same, only the technology had to change, and we have a couple of customers there. uh, LN side, yes, 10.7 Cloud Suite, very interesting. Also, scripts have multi-tenant scripts doesn't change. It's very interesting where we are working very eagerly at having offering that uh, SaaS based test automation suite for you. Very soon you will hear back from us. So, but till that time, I'll say it's not that ideal world. Your critical processes, you should test it. So this hybrid approach that we're talking about, it leverages the record and play and to accelerate your test automation. Couple of lessons that we have learned the hard way, that I'll say is, this is what like I was all talking about. ERP customizations, which I'm not aware of. Yes, obviously, it has to be the has to be built separately. I have to work with you and invest time on that thing. There could be dynamic elements, which I don't have a real example, but yes, this automatically what happens is through XPaths and what we have introduced the dynamism into the scripts. A very interesting one. Responsive these things also, responsive web applications. We test them because sometimes you have to do the mobile testing. So that also we have taken care of. Sometimes there are like we don't. There's nothing hard coded over there. This is all works seamlessly. So if there is a more waiting time, yes, you can put a limit to it, but it just waits for the response. So there are a lot of implicit and explicit waits that we have included. One of the interesting one is OTP, means sometimes the one-time password. This is something which we learned the hard way, but yes, we are reading. Say when you log, you want to check, you want to test the login part of it, and there is a OTP getting generated and it comes into your email. So we read those emails and process it. So automation, it has to be automated everything up, right? Pop-up windows, I'll say like sometimes it could be because of the application versus it could be because of the environment in. So that also we handle. Uh, and as I said, like it's data driven and keyword driven. So accordingly it reads the content and takes care of the workflows accordingly. Reporting, I'm super impressed with the reporting, because I love it when I say like I don't like the dashboards, then I have those widgets and I just pull in, drag, drop, and I can create my own widgets into my report portal. There's a distinguished uh, this thing for exclusively for me, right, where all the test results are there and you get a lot of insights into what exactly happened in the last 3 months or 6 months. You can create your own widgets and play around with the data, because it's important. Because every organization should try to reduce the number of defects, right? uh, the framework, as I said, like it's very extendable. It includes it can you can do not just one application, multiple applications. It does the integration testing. It does it has like it takes care of the portals, the data connections if you have any. But yes, limitations with the Selenium is all the applications which are browser based. That's where the limitations come in. But yes, as I said, we there are ways and means to overcome it, and we are learning, and we are maturing as well. So that's the thing. That's where I come to the end where of the today's session. And anytime you have any questions, I'll say like I will love to answer. Yeah. So the interesting, yeah. So anytime, like you can reach out to us. We are very much available on LinkedIn. We are available on YouTube. There are a lot of videos, learning videos that we have published over there. Then Facebook, we are very much active. Twitter, we are active. So anytime, just send out an email. You can send out to Marcom, uh, @silotech.com. I just posted over here. Uh, you can always email us. We'll reach out to you, and the thing is, you can request for a demo. There's no strings attached. Like you have to. We will be generous enough to give you a demo and to your environment and discuss how easy and how effective the platform could be. So there comes. That's with that. I'll end this session and we'll talk again. Uh, we are doing some interesting sessions. This particular testing automation will continue simultaneously. We're doing some interesting sessions on uh, Industry 4.0 for semiconductor and electric manufacturing industries. Uh, do join us over there. Thank you and take care. Be safe and wear the mask.